Hi guys. Okay, so change of plans. I was trying to upload the War on Debt video for tonight's class, and I cannot get it to play on my computer. So I'm going to play around with that for next week. What I did was I just spent um, 30 minutes watching the first segment, and I took really good notes. And I've taken the class before, so I'm just going to try and paraphrase and talk to you guys about what she was talking about. So I'll try for next week to get it to work. If my idea is not going to work, then I will just talk about each week what she's talking about. And I mean, these are things that I've walked through and I've started doing. So hopefully that will help. I'm also going to be posting in our group a video that Danny has put up where she's walking a client of hers through their house and kind of seeing places where they have waste, and I think it's really eye-opening, so I will post that in our group so you can watch that. And then another video where she goes into the grocery store and basically walks you through the grocery store and kind of where you should be purchasing your food and where not to purchase your food. So those are a few things that I'm going to post in the group so you can kind of get a feel for Danny. She's awesome. I really wish she does way better at this than I do, so I really wish you could see her. I'm just here in my little home office. It's not that impressive, but so you can kind of see it. This is where I work. I'm still kind of trying to get it organized, but my computer that won't work. Okay, so let me just kind of start talking about the things that she was talking about on the call. And I'm pulling this up, but hopefully it's not covering. Yeah, you can see me just fine. Okay. So on tonight's class, we're going to be talking about different places to invest money. Just a little bit briefly, obviously we need to pay off debt before we have money to invest. But I kind of want to share with you a little bit about where I've come from and what we've been able to kind of do. Just today we signed some papers on like a really big investment, and I just want to share that with you guys because we were not at this place 4 years ago when we started plugging into this training, and it's like it blows my mind how much life has changed, and it can totally change for you too, and you can get to the place where you are debt-free and financially independent and able to do those things that you want to do. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight is I think as adults we get to the point where we just stop dreaming about things. We talk ourselves out of like going on that vacation that we've always wanted to go on, or maybe buying a house in that neighborhood you've always wanted to live in, or maybe you've always wanted to take guitar lessons or cooking classes or anything like that. And as an adult, write a book. As an adult, we just get cynical, we get disappointed, we stop aiming for things, and we really stop dreaming. So this week, I want you to start dreaming again. So I want you to take a piece of paper or a notebook or something you already have. Don't go out and buy something. I want you to take something that you already have. Could just be like computer paper, and I need to do this too. I'm going to do it because it's a good reminder for me. Write down those things that you used to dream about or things that you've always dreamed about. And I don't want you to not write it down because you don't think it's attainable. Write it down. If your dreams don't freak you out, then what's the point? So write it down, even if it's something that you're like, that's never going to happen, that's silly. Write it on paper. Start dreaming again. Start stirring yourself up. I find that if we never have vision for things, then we have nothing to aim at. So put on paper some things that you can aim at. And if you want to start small, like I have a vacation that I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, put that on your list. Start looking at trips online. Start dreaming about it. Start saving. You know, maybe today you're not going to go get a coffee, and instead you're going to put that $3 in a jar and start saving for your trip to Hawaii. Even if it takes you 5 years, start moving and taking a step towards something that you've always dreamed about. Okay, So tonight, Danny was talking about that she wanted to teach us how to get out of debt. And just imagine the impact you guys can have on people around you if you start paying, not only paying down your debts, but if you were debt-free and able to share that with your friends and family. And by the way, any one of you is fully equipped to have a class like this. And the only reason I did this online was because I am connected with a lot of people online. If you wanted to have a War on Debt class in your house because you're like, hey, I need the accountability, I'm going to do this once a week and watch these videos, go for it. After this class is over, I'll post the link to getting the War on Debt kit. And I think it's like $90, but you could even say, hey, I'm going to get 9 people, all of us are going to pitch in $10, and then we'll have it. And look at how awesome would that be to be able to pay it forward to other people. So I feel weird that I can't see myself, but it doesn't matter. I have my notes in front of my face, so I'm like, just, you'll have to let me know if there's something weird on my face. Other than this is a zit. I'm a 30-year-old woman, and I still have this. It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's call it out. This is the elephant in the room. I don't have any more foundation. It's ridiculous. Anyway, all right. So she talked about 3 investments that you can make. 1, stock market, obviously, but the risk is kind of high. My husband does stock market investing, but I couldn't do that. I don't know what I don't really know anything about it. I wouldn't know what to do. You can invest in real estate. Danny talked about her story about buying her first home, and she bought it when real estate was really high, and she ended up losing like thousands and thousands of dollars. I think she said if she would have rented that house versus buying it, she would have saved like over $100,000. So obviously you can make money on real estate, but again, you need knowledge. You need to know how. The third investment is really the only investment where there's a guaranteed dollar-to-dollar return on what you invest. And you have 100% control over it. And basically that's the investment you make in yourself. Like taking this class, you are making an investment into yourself that will pay you dividends later because you're learning how to be a good steward of the money that you have. And Danny talked about when she invested $25,000 20 years ago to go to some training seminars that taught her how to be a businesswoman, and how that's paid her over and over and over. And she talked about, you know, they've made tons of money in real estate off of that training in business. So it really spilled over to other things. So really, you, again, investing into how am I a good steward of this money? How am I going to pay off debt? This is something that will pay you over and over and over. So always making investments in yourself is the most important investment, and you control it. I can share this information with you, and it's up to you how much you apply it and what you put to action. You could do nothing, put nothing to action, and you would kind of get that result, or you can take some of what I share and grow in certain ways, or you can take all of this that Danny teaches and apply it to your business, apply it to your job, apply it to your finances, and grow leaps and bounds. So really the investment that you make in yourself is the best. When you, let's see, so when you think about it, say you had like $3 left to your name, if you just spend it, it's like it's died. There's no more money left, it's gone. But if you invest it into something, it keeps paying, it keeps paying. So I thought that was a really good word. Let's see. Okay, so how do you spend your money and where is it going? We are tracking that more. I know a lot of you guys went through your budget and saw where you were spending money, and I just want to tell you, good job. I know a lot of times doing that, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like an idiot. Like here, I didn't think that I had money for this thing. Oh, I'm going to turn because the sun is totally on my face. Here, you didn't think that you had money to go on vacation, and now you realize that you totally did. You just chose to spend it on coffee or on whatever, other things that are less important than vacation, right? So good job for doing that. And I know there's a tendency when you go through something like that to feel guilty and be frustrated and mad at yourself. One thing I like to say is don't stomp on your sprout. And you're growing, and it's a process. It takes time. So don't be down on yourself for the things that you aren't. Be proud of yourself for the things that you are. So our goal is for you to grow in being a better steward of your money. But for right now, good for you for doing that homework assignment, because that was difficult. But now you have eyes to see, and you know where your money's going. And for the next few months, you're probably going to struggle and fight and learn what is a good, happy medium for you, and it's going to look very different for everybody. Some of the things I share tonight, you're going to be like, nope, it's not worth that. I'm not getting rid of that, or I don't care too much that I spend money there. And then other things you're going to realize, yeah, I really need to pull back on that. That is your choice. You can pay down debt as fast or as slow as you want. I always equate it to, and I know I shared this a little bit before, being in health and fitness. Don't bite off more than you can chew. So like with my clients, I tell them, don't restrict yourself so much that you're going to binge. So same with money. Don't cut back your finances so much that you're just going to blow $1,000 extra in the next 5 weeks because you were like so starved to spend money. Make sure that you allow yourself a little bit of wiggle room. I need that. I have a little bit of cash every week that I just blow because I like to. I like to get coffee every once in a while. I like to go get a shirt, so I have that. So know yourself and know what you need. Okay. So we live in a culture of excess. We're just spending. We spend, buy. We have way more than we need. And for a lot of us, maybe you've noticed it in the past few weeks, spending is totally a coping mechanism. It's a comfort. It's entertainment. It's all of those things. It becomes something that we are attached to feel good. So you might notice when you start kind of pulling back on that it's the first few weeks might be kind of a struggle. So you might have to find other things to entertain yourself with. So if you used to go out to eat 4 times a week, try packing a lunch but taking it to a fun place like the park, or I don't know, go watch people at the airport or something. I don't know, whatever works for you, but try and put a positive spin on it. But yeah, we live in a culture of excess. So more, clothes, food, trinkets. And there's really a principality that like lingers over our country, and that's gluttony. Like just more. And that's why you see people go bankrupt, and you see people that don't have the money to have that house and drive that car. They're going to anyway because it matters to them what people think. It makes them feel good. So you're surrounded by this culture of excess and more. And you're going to find that the more you restrain and are a good steward of what you have, there's going to be a little pushback. So you're going to have friends that want you to go out with them, and they're going to be like, oh, you're ordering water? Don't you want something to eat? Just remember what your goals are, and remember that this was something Danny says, but I think it's brilliant. Look at what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. Don't do what everybody else is doing. You see what that gets them. Do the opposite and be the opposite. I don't want to be like everybody in our culture who lives way beyond their means. I want to be the opposite. I want to get die and have tons left over for my kids to provide for them, to give away. I don't want to be dependent on my family, dependent on the government. I want to be financially independent, and we're getting there, but that takes being different than everyone else. So this group is here to support you on those days where you're like, my friend invited me over to the restaurant and I told myself I wasn't going to do that. Put a message in the group. We would love to support you and encourage you. I know what that's like. I have the money to go out to eat and to get coffee and do all those things. But I choose not to because it's important for me to pay down my debt and to be financially independent and to use that money wisely, because I want to be trusted with what I have so I'm able to have more. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so I talked about that. So we live in a culture that has so much excess. We throw away thousands and thousands of pounds of food. Even at like the hotel, I've heard Danny speak, and she talks about walking through the hotel kitchens, and heaps and heaps of foods thrown away. And that's like tens of thousands of dollars of food just that we're throwing away. And when it comes down to it, we can't control other people. We can't fix our nation. But what you can do is you can be personally, fiscally responsible. So it can start with you, and you can be responsible of what you have. So basically, we're going to talk a little bit about success. There are laws of success. So if you want to be successful with paying off your debt, if you'd like to be successful in your job, I don't really know anybody that doesn't want to be successful in whatever they do. Maybe you run a charitable organization and you want to be successful in raising donations. Whatever you do, there are laws and principles you have to abide by if you want to be successful. And one of those laws is reaping and sowing. Karma, some people call it karma, but the law of reaping and sowing. So if you are sowing into waste, what are you going to reap? You're going to reap waste. So if you're spending your money on all these things that are just food that's going to be thrown away, or coffee that you're going to consume, or all these different things, you're sowing your money wastefully, well, you're going to reap waste. You're not going to reap more money. You're going to reap what you sow. So if your money is going to wasteful things, what will you reap? You'll reap waste. The second law of promotion, law of success, law of promotion, is if you're faithful with what you have now, you will be given more. So whatever you have now, whether it's $2,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, 15, 30, whatever you're given, that you've been given to kind of steward and govern over now, that's the amount that you have been given. That's the amount you've been given to govern over. And so I'm going to talk about God. I believe in God, and I believe that God gives us stuff to govern over. If you don't believe in God, it's the same principle. The universe maybe has given you, the universe has given you this money to govern over, and these laws still apply. I know plenty of people that don't believe in God that know that you reap what you sow, and that if you are good with what you have, you'll be given more. Those are universal laws. So imagine that you own nothing. You own nothing, but you are governing over what you have. So what you have isn't really yours, because really we don't own anything. I mean, when you die, you're not taking all that with you. So you're kind of governing over this stuff, your house, your job, your monthly income. You're governing over this. So all that stuff, hold on. Yes, you're being a governor over that. So if you, as a governor over these things, like your job, your house, your family, if you can be trusted with what you govern over, then God or whoever, the universe, whatever you believe, will say, awesome, you can govern over this, so now I can expand what you have been given. I can trust you. And if you think about it like a king that has a kingdom, his kingdom is not going to grow if he treats the people crappy. If he's spending his money foolishly, that kingdom will probably die and actually be taken over by another king who treats his people well, whose army is growing, who uses his resources in a positive way to take over your kingdom. So it's the same principle. You have to do well with what you have, and you have to think in terms of, what do I want to sow? If you want to sow waste, then by all means, reap it. Spend your money wastefully if that's what you want, but I know none of you want that. I know you want to get back more. So how are you going to do that? And it takes being wise with what you have. So if your territory doesn't expand, if you feel stuck, if you feel like, I've had the same $3,000 income every month and I just have not grown, well, it's time for you to take a look at, and you have in your budget, but take a look at, what are you doing with your money? Are you spending all $3,000 of that? Are you complaining about your job only paying you $3,000? Are you complaining when you're at work? Are you a good worker? Like, are you treating your job well? Are you treating your money well? Really taking that mindset, because if you can't be trusted to work hard and diligent and honor your boss and honor your coworkers, even when they're jerks, if you can't be trusted to be a trustworthy person and honor that job and that territory at your work that you've been giving, then you don't need more. You need to show that you can be trusted with that. So some of you feel stuck, and I want you to really think about that this week. Have I been a good employee? Have I been a good boss? Have I been a good coworker? Am I bringing effort and diligence and hard work to what I do? That does not mean to work longer hours. It just means be somebody who other people want to be around at work. If you are that person, if you're honoring and edifying your boss, even when they're a jerk, you will get promoted. So for all of those of you that feel stuck, make sure you have eyes to see where it is that you're kind of allowing yourself to be stuck. Okay, I talked about that. And there are some of you here that are really just ripe and ready for promotion, that you're being watched to see if you're doing well with what you have. So just continue. You looked at your budget, start making those changes to do well with what you have, and you will be given more. You will be given more. Let's see. Okay, so do you want your territory expand? Of course, we all do. So again, you need to look at what everybody else is doing, and you need to do the opposite. So we're going to talk a little bit about, and I'm sorry if this feels disjointed. I was watching and taking notes on what she said. So none of this comes from me unless I share my own story. This is all from Danny. This is all what she talks about. Okay, so if you want to be successful, to be promoted, if you want your territory expand, look at what everybody else is doing and do the opposite. So 90% of Americans have more than 5 options for breakfast in their pantry right now. And think about it. And even as you're watching this, go to your pantry and count. 3 options in their fridge for breakfast, 2 in their freezer. And for most of us, we're not even home. Like, some of us, our kids are eating at school in the morning. Like my kids, they feed breakfast in the mornings, which is crazy. I feed my kids oatmeal before they go, so they don't eat the school breakfast because it's not healthy. But some of you, you've bought lunch and your kids are eating lunch at school. You have all these options for breakfast, and what happens? And I love this. Danny shares this at her seminars, but you have your cereal box, and sometimes there's like that little dab at the bottom that's left. And what do we do with that? Usually it gets stale and we toss it. we throw that sucker out. And we don't even think about it. Again, it's like because we can afford to. But what you don't realize is a lot of that stuff that you're throwing out adds up and adds up and adds up. And over your lifetime, that is a trip to Bora Bora or a cruise across Europe, or maybe a United States trip to see all the states, like all these amazing things that you could have done, but we're throwing it away. So breakfast is a great place to start your grocery budget. And I'll share with you kind of what I do, and I model what I do after Danny. She totally taught me. I started going to her First Steps to Success seminars, and I will tell you, when I first went, it was a sacrifice. I mean, I had to pay to get there. But I have saved money. It's that investing in yourself. She saved us thousands of dollars a month that we just spent because that's what everybody does. And that's what I saw, and that's what I thought that you were supposed to do. And I didn't even give it a second thought. So now when I go grocery shopping, I go once a week. I go on Thursdays. And when you come over to my house on Wednesday night, I don't really have much. We kind of snack on whatever's there. We eat whatever's there. I've had lots of friends come over and look at my pantry and look at my fridge like, do you need to go grocery shopping tomorrow? And I'm like, no, I just shop for the week. I used to be a Costco whore, and I say that, sorry if that offends anybody, but so true. I would go to Costco, I don't know, once every 2 months and blow like $500. And that wasn't part of our grocery budget, just on bulk, oversized excess. And we just always had excess. And so, of course, I would throw away bags of stuff because it was stale at the bottom. And there's just so much stuff. And I grew up, I think part of it is, what if we have people come over, or what if I can't make it to the grocery store, or just this like poverty mentality of, what if we need it? So for me to change that was really hard, but it's been so good. And my grocery budget is $120 a week for 5 of us. And that is enough. And I know that's hard because I know some of you, your grocery budget might be a lot more than that. But we do a lot of like rice and beans. I will cook black beans with some salsa and toss it with rice, and then put over it fresh cilantro and avocado, and that will be a meal. And maybe we put some cheese on it. I do a lot of stir fry. We buy a quarter cow every year, so I do a lot of stir fry where I'll like slice up a steak and do whatever veggies are kind of left, and then rice. So I mean, that's kind of how we've cut stuff down. So we have 2 breakfast options, well, 3 I guess. Oatmeal, I always have oatmeal. I like eggs, so we always have eggs. So eggs and toast, oatmeal, pancakes. That's it. Maybe like once every few months we'll do something different. John and I have like smoothies we'll make in the morning, but other than that, those are the breakfast options. I might get bacon every once in a while just for fun, but that's what we do. And we have saved hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month on grocery shopping. And I will, like I said, I will share with you that Danny video that she talks about grocery shopping. And she talks about her fridge is tiny, her freezer is tiny. 90% of the population has a second freezer. And we have a second freezer that we have our quarter cow in, but a lot of us have a second freezer that we just put processed food in, that extra stuff, popsicles, and a lot of it just stays there all winter, and then we toss it because it's gross and it's freezer burn. And if somebody's looking to make a couple $100 this month, sell your extra freezer. You can do it if you want. But I'm going to keep mine. So that's just an idea for somebody. So Danny shops once a week, and they eat, they'll eat their food throughout the week. and she shops week to week, and that's definitely where I learned that. And when she does her seminar, she goes into a little bit more detail. And then when we're not home, there's no food. Like, we take our food with us camping, or if we're going to be gone for a while, we eat the food and then leave the house. So there's not food sitting there becoming a science experiment for when you get home. Let's see. Okay, so if you're going to the store more than once a week, if you think about it, you're wasting your time. You're wasting money, because I know when I go to the store for, oh, we don't have butter, I drive over to the store, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting money, because generally I'll pick up a few other things that I remembered I needed, or I wanted ice cream or something, and then your gas, you're spending gas, and you probably don't think about it, but you're probably making 4 or 5 trips a month. That's 20, 30, 40 bucks in gas. That adds up. So making that choice to say, you know what, I don't have butter, but I have olive oil, it'll have to do. That might be an option for some of you. That might be a choice that you need to make to save that extra money. For some of you, you're like, no, that's not an option. Again, that's fine. The more money you save, the more money you're going to have to pay down your debt faster. So it really is up to you. And next week we're going to talk about taking this extra money that we've saved and how to put it towards your debt. Let's see. Also, I mean, governing over your finances isn't the only thing. You need to govern over your time too. So being a good steward of the time that you have, and we can talk about that a little bit more too, finding the extra time for things. So how many of us have products inside of our bathrooms, some that are unopened, some that are open that we just don't prefer, so they're just sitting there. One of the ladies in the class was actually saying that she was able to live, or she had been living off for 6 months off of her bathroom stuff that she already had. So she had enough toothpaste. She said she had soap for like years to live off of. She had lotion. So she was making the decision, you know what, I'm not going to spend more money on these things I already have. I'm going to save that money and pay off my debt, and I'm going to just use up what I have. Phenomenal. And your toothpaste, when you think it's run out, you can cut the bottom and you can slide out the rest. I totally do that. Again, toothpaste is one of those things that we'll run out of, and I'll go to the store and then I'll buy like 5 things. So again, do you want your territory to expand? Do you want to have more money? Do you want to pay down your debt faster? Do you want to be financially independent? That's your choice. What are the things that you're willing to sacrifice to get there? Look at what everybody else is doing and do the opposite. Closets, especially ladies. A lot of us have shoes we've bought that we don't wear, clothes that have tags still on them, clothes that are 4 sizes. So maybe you have small, medium, large, extra large, because you've gone to the store too many times and bought too much food and now your clothes don't fit. No, but maybe. That's a place that you have excess, and I have so many shirts. I don't need more shirts. Like, I've really been convicted that lately. I need to wear what I have. How many of you are like me and you have these like set things that you wear all the time, and then you don't wear this other stuff? So I'm like, why did I buy that? I never wear it. It's beautiful and it looks cute on me, but I just don't even wear it. And like this, case in point, here is a picture frame that I bought months ago because it was only $3. Now, it is pretty cute, but I don't have a picture in it. I mean, I like it, but I don't like love it. But it was $3. And how many things do we have like that where we're like, well, it was just $3. It was on sale. But when you add those things up, that's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars in your lifetime because it was cheap. It was just a few dollars. But, you know, that few dollars is dead now. It's dead. I mean, I have this, but that few dollars is dead. Whereas if I would have saved it and invested it in something, it would be working for me. It would be multiplying. It would be making money. So when you think about, why should I have 3 breakfast options instead of 6? Why should I, ladies, if you have clothes that you can return, take them back. If you have stuff in your house that you haven't opened up and you can return, take it back. If you have stuff that you could sell on Craigslist, sell it. That's a great way to make a little bit of extra money this month. And, we're saving up that money because we're going to start talking about where we can put it. All that excess is preventing you from those dreams that we talked about. So do you want to go see Denmark? Do you want to go to Italy? Do you want to go to Bora Bora or Hawaii? Do you want to go on a cruise in the Mediterranean? You probably already spent the money. And again, don't be upset with yourself. We're all learning and growing here. But this is where the money comes from. This is where you can find that extra money to save up and to go on that amazing vacation or buy that guitar that you've always wanted or whatever it is. The money is there. So I wanted to share with you something kind of exciting. And I'm going to be detailed or specific, but not detailed. So John and I, gosh, when I got started with my business, we were tight. We were pretty tight financially. I mean, we had a little bit extra, but I was definitely, I was donating my plasma so that I could buy some certain products that we have and get started in my own business. And I look back on that time, and that was hard. We didn't have a lot of extra, but also the extra that I had, I just blew it. I spent it. I threw it away. I was not being a good steward of what I had, so I wasn't given more. And the more I have plugged in and learned these skills of saving, living frugally, investing lavishly, our income has grown and grown and grown, and God has totally blessed us. We've been made rulers over much because we've been faithful with what we have. And I want to be made ruler over much more. Like, it's in my heart to be able to give away tons of money every month. I love to give, so that's what I want to do. So that's totally what drives me. I want to live frugally so we can give away. But today, we got to invest in a company, which is just like, it blows my mind. Here we are we drive a 2003 Dodge Caravan. And it's not even like a grand Caravan, it's just a Caravan. Has like a cracked windshield. Can I afford to buy a nicer car? Absolutely. I can afford to drive around a very nice car, but that would be foolish, and that would be not being a good steward of what I've been given. Because for me personally, there are children in the world that don't have food to eat. I don't need to drive a nicer car. I need to take that money and give it to people that don't have food. And I don't say that like, look at me. Like, that really is where my heart's at, and I've really been convicted about that. I want to live frugally so we can give away. So here we are. I'm like, I have these cutoff shorts that somebody gave me. I mean, this t-shirt I got at Target for a few bucks because it was on sale. We're not fancy people. My husband was wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt, but we were able to invest pretty lavishly in this startup business that I'm really excited about. And we pulled into the lawyer's office and we're like signing papers, and it was just funny. It's so countercultural. People think that people that are able to invest and be investors in a business look a certain way, and I love being the opposite of what people expect, because he was surprised by who we are, what we looked like. But I love that, because that is sowing what you're reaping, and that is being faithful with what we've been given. So I just want to like encourage you guys, and like I never saw us in this position, and now I have a vision for like where we want to go, and it's so much further than where we are now, and it scares me to death. My vision like scares me, but I'm so excited about it. And again, we've just been sowing wisely, and we've been good stewards and faithful with what we have. So I hope that encourages you guys. And again, I am not Danny. She's way more awesome than I am. Most of this stuff is from her, and I'm bummed that I couldn't get the video to play, but this way everybody can watch it this week, and I will try and figure out something for next week so that we can actually watch her. But I'm really proud of you guys for being in this class. I need this just as much as you. I do. I need it daily. I need it daily. I'm surrounded by the same culture that you are, and I will admit, sometimes I'd really like a nicer car. I want people to know that I can afford a nicer car, like, and that's the selfish desire in my heart. But I don't need it. I don't need it. And you guys don't need some of the things that you have. And I know it's painful and I know it's hard. But don't do stuff for other people. Do it for you. Do it for where you want to go. Do it for who you want to be. And those of you that believe in the Lord, pray for strength and wisdom and peace. And those of you that don't, however you seek truth, seek it out. Surround yourself with people that are encouraging you on the path that you want to be in. Surround yourself with people. Birds of a feather flock together. So look at where you're going and surround yourself with people that are going to help you get there. Okay, I need to be quiet. You guys are awesome. Have a good night. Have a good week. And we will meet together next week. And I want you to all watch this. And then Thursday, I'll post the 2 videos that I talked about grocery shopping with Danny. And then the one where she goes throughout the gal's house and looks at places where we spend wastefully. She talks about a few things I didn't bring up, which are crafting, some of you. What was another one? Maybe magazine subscriptions, hobbies. So anyway, she can guilt you about that stuff. I don't need to. Okay, you guys are awesome. Good night. And we will hang out later. Okay, bye.